Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the vlog. My name is Vic Barry. I work as a creative video director and editor. Of course, I work in a creative space all the time trying to help you guys make better content. And today we are doing something just a little bit different, but it is completely applicable to anybody that uses social media, or if you're dealing with comments on Facebook video, YouTube video, or anything like that, because it's really important. Today is World Mental Health Day, and we're putting this video together that hopefully will give you guys a couple of pointers, a couple of hints and tips, some food for thought, and at the end of the day, the whole idea with this video, and please watch to the very end because we've got some great stuff in here, is just to help you. This is Jimmy White, a good friend of mine, somebody that has helped me hugely in the mindfulness and the mental space, which I'll talk about a little later on. Jimmy, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, thanks very much.
All right. Give us your title, okay, just to explain what you do, and then we'll kind of get this conversation going.
Okay, so I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and psychotherapist, and mindful educator. So what that means is that I am qualified in hypnotherapy and psychotherapy, and pass on my knowledge and experience of mindfulness.
Psychotherapy, hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is involving hypnosis.
Yes.
Psychotherapy is what exactly?
About the mind, psychologically, what's going on for people who come in to see me, what space are they in, why are they feeling the way they're feeling, and how can I help them get through the block or whatever it is the challenge that they're facing.
Okay. Now, speaking of challenges and getting through the block, as you well know, if you use social media in any capacity, if you use YouTube, if you use Facebook, Twitter, all the other platforms that are out there, TikTok, everything, at some point, especially if you're a kind of content creator, you are going to face a load of hate.
Yeah.
For no reason. Somebody might just go, I'm just going to bully this guy today. I'm going to bully her today. I'm going to give them a hard time about how they look, the color, whatever. Okay, so people really are beeps at the best part. And there is no getting away from this abuse, because we are all, let's be honest, we're all stuck to our phones. We wake up, we pick up a phone. We're on the bus, we are on the phone. We're on a flight, we're on the phone. We're coming home, we're on the phone. We're having our dinner, we're on the phone. So if we can talk about kind of how people can handle themselves when this hate comes at them.
Okay.
And there's, from young kids, teenagers, adults, it doesn't matter what age you are, there's nobody kind of bulletproof to any of this kind of hate. What can people do to make it a little bit easier? Because, you know, there's no, we can't like click our fingers and it goes away. We you know, there is no magic pill.
No magic pill, no magic wand.
But have you got a couple of pointers what people can do? Even, would you have a little, I know it's a huge question, but would you have a little insight into what bullying and what makes somebody go, I'm going to, you know, give this person a whole lot of abuse? What's going on?
So, as you said, it's not a small question, it's a big question to answer, but to try and sum up as best I can, when somebody's a bully, even though the hatred and maybe even violence or comments or whatever it is directed particularly at you or whoever it is personally at you, it's not really about you, it's actually about them.
Okay.
I know that sounds cliche.
Yeah.
Okay. And look, are they an asshole? Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, there's psychological factors as to why they've done it. You're not born a bully.
Okay.
It's simple as that. Okay. And there's many factors. Usually, statistically, what they found is that somewhere in that person's life, between whenever they were born and now, something traumatic has happened to them. Maybe they were previously bullied. It could be in sexual. It could be anything. And their protection method or mechanism is, it kicks into play and it goes, okay, to save me feeling the way I felt then, I'm going to do this so nobody can ever get at me again. So then they become the bully.
Okay.
Okay. And it's their fight, flight or freeze. It's to do with anxiety, stress. It's to do with the amygdala part of the brain and many other different parts of the brain. But it's effectively their protective mechanism to protect themselves, and they don't. Some of them don't even see them as being a bully.
Yeah.
And then what we've created here in society is, if you go on any post, where last week the storm, everything was negative about the storm. Everybody was panicking. There was no bread in the shelves like on Tuesday or Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? So we've created this monster.
Okay.
And if you go underneath the comments, say a negative comment might be, oh, what are we going to do with the homeless people or stuff like that, and the council should do this and our government should do that. All the comments underneath are negative and there's no solution. Why? Our default mode now in our mind is to go negative first.
Is that something that, like you said, go negative first? Is that something that's just evolved over time?
Yeah, we've done it.
Okay.
As a human species, we've done this.
Okay.
We've created this.
But this isn't something that's happened in the last 20 years. It's
No,
there
this
for...
has been coming on for a long, long time. Do you know what I mean? And due to processes in the brain, and look, due to external influences, you know, what's that old saying about being better than the neighbours and stuff like that, you know, all of that type of stuff, do you know what I mean? If you've got a car, I have to have a better car, or if you've got a house that's painted, I need to paint my house better, do you know what I mean? That type of stuff.
Okay. So for anyone that's out there that's working in any kind of social media space or making videos or just basically just trying to maneuver through their day, and they can be dealing with emails from work or anything that can upset people as well. So what are some of the... Is there a couple of go-to mechanisms that people can be a little bit more to help themselves?
Okay, so I suppose at the end of the day, if you can actually understand about it, and we put some links up later on about it and whatever, but if you can actually understand what's going on for the bully and understand what's going on for you when you feel that. So if someone gives you a comment, and I don't know, a negative comment about yourself or whatever, about myself, I have two choices or a couple of choices. I can actually read into the comment, read it down about myself, buy into it, hide in my little cave or wherever it is, or I can react to it, which isn't going to be beneficial either. Okay, because that's only going to create more. Or I can say, okay, it is what it is, and it isn't me. Okay. So it's understanding self. A lot of this is about understanding you, where you are, and we're talking about self-esteem, self-love, self-compassion, all that type of stuff, do you know what I mean? Which is deep, deep stuff, do you know what I mean? And obviously for males, especially in Ireland, we're not great at the emotional deep stuff, do you know what I mean?
yeah, totally. There was kind of three options there, right? React, take it on board, or more or less go, that's not me. But if you get these on a regular basis, you know, that like there's YouTube videos and Facebook posts and Twitter, there's like thousands of posts and comments, and a lot of those can come at you in a big kind of a wave day after day. Is there potential after you get maybe somebody is kind of having a go at you because of your weight, that 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 comments, you're kind of going, maybe.
Oh, you're going to go inside. It's going to go inside.
It's going to break you down eventually.
It's going to actually raise your anxiety levels and your stress levels, and it's going to react your thinking mechanism, as in, oh, okay, yeah, maybe they're right. But it's breaking you down as a person, because whether you're black, white, yellow, fat, slim, you are you. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying to you, it's all about self-awareness, and this is where when you get help, where you talk to someone who knows what you're doing, that you can actually come out the other side, and you don't have to change your weight, your size, your colour. You have to just change how you're allowing things to affect you in your mind, because it is all about here. It's about this. Advertisers are brilliant mind manipulators to have us over a cuff. Do you know what I mean? They know how to do it. They're not bullying in some sense, or maybe they are, I don't know, but they're making us specifically getting into our mindsets.
What does it take to realise that something is wrong, that something is wearing you down? Are there telltale signs? Because obviously it gets worse before it gets better. But I know from my own experience that you start here and then you go down a bit and then you down a bit and then you're like way down here going, how did I end up down here?
Because it becomes a habit. As soon as you see the first comment, whatever the comment is, you'll have a sensation or a feeling in your body or a thought in your head. That's when you need to start reacting. Okay. Straight away. Okay. Rather than waiting for the next 20 to come in. Okay. Or if it's too late and it comes in overnight and you open up and you have 50 comments, that's when you need to take action. Okay. And taking action is put the phone down, stop reading it, and then go and talk to someone about how you're feeling because of whatever is triggered inside you. Like
at what level, and we figure out who do you talk to, because there's a psychologist, psychotherapist, there's so many different people that you can talk to, but at what point, because you know we can deflect a few of these, but at what point do you go on the inside, and it's different for everybody, but where do you go, I need to talk to somebody? Like at what point where's the breaking point? Everybody's different, but is there a kind of a general telltale sign that we all may have similarly that you go, you need to talk to somebody?
We have a threshold of what we can tolerate. Okay. And once we break over that threshold, then we go into reactive mode, which is instant, and it'll be fight, flight, or freeze. It'll be anger, frustration, rage, or running away, hiding, not talking to people, all that type of stuff. So everybody has a threshold. The problem with this threshold is that it can fluctuate depending on what's coming at you and how you're dealing with it, how your minds are. Yeah. And the lower it gets, the easier it gets for you to jump over that threshold and go down that rabbit hole. Okay. You know what I mean? What you need to do, I suppose, is as soon as you have the sensation that you don't feel good by that comment, or comments, you need to talk to somebody. Okay? And I know you said there's lots of people to talk to, and we'll come back to that in a second. But the thing is understanding that you don't have to just sit here and let it all come at you. Other people feel the same way as you felt, like I said to you 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
And I suppose the obvious one as well is just delete the comments or turn them off or...
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So unfollow the negative Nellies.
Do you know
what I mean? Or block them. Do you know you have that tool on Facebook or whatever it is? Social media, block them, unsubscribe them from your channel, whatever it is.
Okay.
But if you react to them, so if you go into fight mode and you go back at them, all you're doing is you're going to make that volcano bigger.
I know it's a pet peeve of yours, it's a pet peeve of mine as well. And I know the intentions are good for the best part, but from a social influencer's perspective, from a lot of people, they will jump on the bandwagon. Celebrities go to, because mindfulness is a buzzword now. The whole, it's okay not to be okay. That's probably kind of lost its meaning now because everybody is saying it. And it's completely true. It is okay not to be okay. But there's a lot of people who will tell you it's okay not to be okay. Jesus, look, if you're having trouble, you need to talk to somebody, And I do wonder that a lot of these people that if I met them on the street and said, hey, I saw your video, it resonated with me so much, I've my really bad days, I was able to relate to this. Who do I, you said talk to somebody, who do I talk to? I wonder how many of them go, well, you need this, this, and this, and this. I don't think they can personally, a lot of the time. Some can, I'm not painting them all with one brush, but who do you talk to, Jimmy? Because there's like psychotherapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, hypnotherapists. There's so many of with different titles.
Yeah.
Arguably, they're probably all working with the mind, right? But who do you decide on who you should talk to? Or I don't want to be disingenuous, but what you should talk to. Is it the psychotherapist? Is it the psychologist? How do you figure that out?
Generally, you will find that all of them will specialise in something.
Okay.
So for me, I specialise in anxiety, depression and stress.
Okay.
That's what I specialise in. And I specialise using what's called psychoanalysis, which is using psychotherapy techniques and stuff like that to find out what's going on.
Okay.
How do we get through this? Other people will be specialists with children. Other people will be specialists with, say, bullying. Or other people will be specialists. So there's a range of specialities. You need to speak to somebody who specialises in what's going on for you. So if it's anxiety, you need to speak to somebody who has anxiety. If it's stress, depression, if it's bullying, if it's self-confidence, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
So not just pick, there's a psychiatrist there, they look like...
Not necessarily, no.
Okay,
no.
So don't pick the first one. Do your research.
Yeah,
okay.
100%. Now, you did make the comment of it's okay to not be okay, and absolutely that's 100% correct, and I would agree with you saying. And then you have on the tagline is talk to someone. I don't want to sit here and say, look, you have to go and talk to a specialist in the first instance.
Yeah.
You do have to talk to somebody, whether it's your friend, whether it's your work colleague, whether it's your boss, whether it's your sister, your mum, your dad, your friend, whoever it is. You do need to talk to somebody in the first instance, but they're not going to have the answers. Okay.
How do you approach that? How do you go, I want to talk to my brother or my mum or my dad or my friend or whoever, work colleague? How, is there a kind of, because people, it takes a lot for somebody to admit that they have a problem. It takes a lot for them to take that first step.
Yeah.
And when they take the first step, they're a million miles away from where they were, which is great. But how do people is there kind of an icebreaker? How do you get that first step? How do you get the kind of the wheel spinning?
It's a massive step to go outside your comfort zone, because that's what it will be. Because you don't want to be ridiculed, judged, whatever, by whoever you're going to talk to. Maybe it's that you can't talk. So maybe you send them a message.
Okay.
Maybe you send them an email. Maybe you write them a letter or a note
or
something. You need to reach out, because there's so much going on for us nowadays that sometimes, even though we think our eyes are wide open, we don't actually see when someone's struggling. And if they don't tell us, it's hard to help. Do you know what I mean? So I know it's tough and it's hard work and it takes an awful lot of effort on it, but you're worth it. You're worth it.
That's incredible. There's no more else to say. You're worth it. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Let me give you an example, right? And this is a personal example. And I suppose I don't want to be kind of one of the people I'm criticizing, right? But I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I worked with Jimmy for a good 3 kind of months, about a year and a half ago. And just in a very nutshell to explain it, my mental health started deteriorating when I was on the radio. Not when I left the radio, when I was on the radio. Because we dealt with an awful lot of people who spoke about depression, who spoke about suicide. It's one of the things that the show was known for, that we tried to help people as best we could and put them in contact with people like you or whoever. And it started kind of going downhill, and I was like going, whatever, you know, I'm not getting out of bed today late. And I remember thinking to myself, I sound like these people on the radio. This starts sounding familiar. And I spoke to a very good friend of mine at the time, and he said, oh, welcome to the club. He goes, I have what you have. And he goes, this is what you need to do. He goes, you need to talk to somebody. And he goes, you need to ring them now. He goes, here's who I dealt with. He gave me the phone. He goes, I'm going out of the office. You ring them. And I never rang them. I put down the phone. I just didn't. I was like, I'll deal with this. And I dealt with it on and off for a couple of years. I never wanted to speak to anybody. Maybe it's that male thing. Even though night after night in the radio, I'd be like, talk to somebody, here's a list of people, we'll get you help. And I was the one that was always going, I'm not going to talk to anybody. And it took a good 4 or 5 years, and my weight was out of control, and I spoke to Liam in SPG, and he said, well, there's a couple of things that's going on. You need nutrition, you need the physical side, and you need the mental side. Yeah. And that's when I met Jimmy. And I think at that point, I was probably mentally in the worst shape I ever was. There was a couple of times that I genuinely thought I was going to turn off the lights. And I can't say it was this, was that. It's just something that kind of grows. And I felt I did an okay job of dealing with it, but I probably could have been a lot happier if I had spoken to somebody a lot sooner. I don't know, for anybody that knows me, you know, I'm very, very open. This is something that I'm not comfortable talking about. And I'm not going to talk about it in depth, but it was something that I didn't want to do. And when I did the first session with Jimmy, unbeknownst to you, I was like, I'm going to do the week. I might do next week. And then that's it. I'm just going to tell him I'm not going to do any more because I didn't feel comfortable with it. Not for no particular reason. I just don't want to do this. And I remember we had a consultation, and I flooded the consultation room with tears. And that was it. It was just taking that first step. And we kind of worked through a lot. We've done some hypnotherapy, which was fascinating. It was genuinely, I was just fascinated by the whole thing because I felt I'd never go under. But like a light, just boom, I was out. It's that first step. Yeah. And it took a lot for me to do that. And I appreciate it takes a lot for anybody to do it. And you can't compare your mental health to mine. Mine was probably like minuscule. In my head, I was just a little bit off kilter. There's other people are in really, really bad shape. But it's that first step. And it's... I think once you get in the door and once you start, but I do think that unless I was able to connect with you and speak to you and feel comfortable speaking to you, it wouldn't have worked.
And that's what it's about. Like, the therapist has to build a rapport with you as a client or whatever like that, you know what I mean? But it's interesting the way you said my mental health was only minuscule maybe to what others are going through. Yeah. And that's this stigma that's built up again about the word mental health. Oh, you have a mental health challenge or a mental health problem. We all have challenges. Mm-hmm. And 99.9% of them are to do up here. Everybody. So this mental health is for everybody. It's not just for somebody who's like schizophrenic or psychopath or anything like that. It's for general Joe public. Because we're never educated in what's happening up here. Mm-hmm. Ever. It's not on the curriculum anywhere. Do you know what I mean? As we're growing up. And if you understand what's happening in here, whys and hows and reasons and all that type of stuff, you can actually say, oh well, okay, I can do this instead, or I can do that instead. So you get answers, you get your own, you build your own toolbox of tools of how you can manage and go through it without taking it all on. Do you know what I mean?
Right now there's people watching this going, yeah, your man is right, that other guy with the hat is right, I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah. And it is taking that first step. Do you know what? Yeah. And it isn't easy. It just isn't easy. I mean, I suppose from a clinical point of view, when you go and speak to somebody who's trained in the field of the mind and whatever, like, they're bound by confidentiality agreements and all that type of stuff as per law and legislation. So it's effectively what goes on in the room stays in the room. Yeah. There's only maybe one exception, which is to do with self-harm and stuff like that. Okay. But other than that, like, I don't discuss any of my clients or anybody. Do you know what I mean? And like, even me myself, just finished my training up to whatever I can go in the psychotherapy, and for the moment, I still have monthly meetings with my instructors and supervisors, and I still share my stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I can't carry it either. Yeah. I've got. We're all ordinary Joe people.
Yeah.
with challenges that we face every day. And it's how we manage and react to those challenges affects how we're going to affect ourselves physically and mentally.
Dude, that's amazing.
Thanks so much for everything.
So there you go. I'm going to leave a whole bunch of links and stuff in the comments, and we'll leave Jimmy's details in the comments as well. I hope you guys have got something out of this, because I know how hard it is to work in any kind of space where you're in public, and you might have the tiniest Facebook page in the world, but I guarantee you at some point there's going to be a whole torrent of hate come at you. Even, you know, the constant negativity that's out there, it does affect everybody. So hopefully you guys have got something out of that. If you have any questions, please drop a comment. Oh, look, I'm rambling on here now, but the whole idea with this is to help you guys. I've always kind of spoken about mental health in bits and bobs, as we'd say here. And this is kind of putting me out there. This is a very different video for the channel, but it's aimed directly at people like you, because we all have issues.
And you're worth it.
Listen, if you take anything else from that, you're worth it. Genuinely, you're worth it. You owe it to yourself. All right, guys, we will see you in the next episode of the vlog. Until then, this is Jimmy. He's an absolute legend. I just cannot thank him enough for what he's done with me. It was tough work. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Any comments, any questions, get them in there right now.